All right. Jill, nice to see you again. Um, so Jill Barbera, um, you have been in real estate a long time, longer than me. Um, and you run a team as well, and we're in the same kind of group of agents, which is great at EXP. Um, can you just, is there, give your like 30-second elevator pitch about yourself?
Oh, yeah, sure. So, 30 seconds. I've been in real estate. It'll be 19 years. I can't even believe it. It's unbelievable. Was just a solo agent, had my three children, running babies, running myself all over while trying to scale, while trying to figure it all out. Then went to KW, spent 7 years there, and then made my move over to EXP, the 2 years in June. And we've scaled from, a team of a solo agent of 11 million and best year 40 million, averaging 30 million on those outside years. But Philadelphia, the burbs, everywhere we can manage, and we do. And yeah, that's my 30 minutes, my 30 seconds.
The 30-second elevator pitch. Okay. So Jill, you and I worked together on a bunch of stuff. Recently we had this event that you threw. It was fantastic.
Thank you.
It was a wonderful collaboration event. This was your fifth time doing it. And
Right.
it brings together agents from different brokerages, which is very exciting because I think that some people, especially when they're younger in the industry, or maybe they just stayed too long where they are, they drink the Kool-Aid for their brokerage and they just don't see outside it.
Yeah.
So I love this kind of event, and it shows people that you can discuss things with other agents that are outside your brokerage. You can have relationships with
Yeah.
them. I know you and I, we have friendships with other agents
100%.
throughout the greater Philly area and nationwide. Yeah.
And what I love about it too is so many times, I guess from my first brokerage, and I loved them when I was in there. I didn't know any better, but it was taught like, you don't share your secrets. You don't talk to the outside. It was almost like this really fear-based mentality. So I just didn't understand that. I mean, I liked it when I was in it, but then when I made a move and I started to learn more about the industry and I started to learn more from others that were willing to help me, it was like, why not help others? They're not me. They're not going to rip off my business. If a client wants to work with me, they're going to work with me. So, it was a matter of now just kind of paying that forward and letting people really understand that it doesn't matter where you are. It doesn't matter where you hang your license. It matters who you surround yourself with and who's feeding into you, and making sure that you're willing to be open to collaboration, willing to be open to learning. Because if you're not, you're gonna struggle. It's just the truth of the industry.
Yeah, one of the masterminds I attended this in the past few weeks that we talked about your time management, and it's really hard in real estate. Like there's so many things that you have to do and that are immediately need to be done, right? We need to address it in the now. And but scheduling out some time in your calendar every week for what I call knowledge acquisition it's highly important to grow your business, to scale, as you talked about, and to definitely collaborate with other people. And that event is so helpful. I saw an agent there, and I had a buyer put an offer on their listing recently, and it definitely helped. So because
I
it
love
was like, hey, I saw you at season 52. We were at that event. I don't know if you were at the one that I was on the panel for, but I saw you there last time. And
that.
you had some great speakers last time. I really liked it. We had Joe Turco there. We had Sky Michaels. Like there was some good names up there, and lots of learning. There was something for kind of every level, whether
And
you're doing.
you make a great point too, because I think one of the biggest things about even the growth of my business and why I've been so sustainable for so long is because of the relationships I built with co-ops. Cooperating and having good co-op relationships is also huge in this industry. It's a small world. And when people start falling out of the business because maybe they're not finding success in harder markets, those people that have built businesses inside this industry and have legs, right, are rooted. Those are the ones that you're going to end up working with again and again. And if you don't build good relationships, it could bite you. It could bite your clients. It really is important.
It is. And that's why, when I'm the listing agent, do I want to work with the new agent who submitted an offer or someone who's experienced and like, I've seen them around? Because if I see that person around, I know they don't want to mess things up because
Yeah.
I'll see them at, the next event, right?
Yeah. So true. So
But
true.
it is, if you've been in this industry, you've been working around the same area, you do see a lot of the same faces. And it's good to have that kind of open communication amongst brokerages, because brokerages, it's not for the client, it's for the agent. If you're listing your house, I don't think the brokerage is a huge factor. It's who is actually doing the work, because the broker's not doing the work most of the time. It's the agent.
I've never had anyone ask me why the brokerage is selling my house. It's about why Jill Barbera is selling my house. It's about why Shaina McAndrews is selling my house.
Exactly. Exactly. And you and I mean, I've been at 4 different brokerages in my career. I really like where I am now. And I joined, I think, 3 days after you joined EXP. So on your tailwind there.
You came over.
Yeah, I was like, let's go. But like it's true. Like no one really cares about the brokerage. So it's nice to have those events, definitely. But today we're gonna kind of talk about some of that stuff. But in terms of pre-listing inspection, like what's important, or like pre-listing inspections, staging, deep cleaning, what's important for homeowners to do before they list their house. We're going into the spring market. Now's the time. Everyone's getting ready. So let's kind of talk about the numbers and why they should or should not invest in certain things.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Because I have some stats that I'm going to share, but they're national. So we're going to break it down for people in the greater Philadelphia area and kind of focus on, is this going to make a difference given our market? And of course, general knowledge, if every greater Philadelphia has so many micro markets, it's not going to be the same for the answer for like you're listing a house in Chestnut Hill, Ardmore, or like Doylestown Market, Ambler, Jenkintown, Center City, Red House. Like it's all a little different. And that's why you should talk to us one-on-one about listing your house and get some in-depth information for your house.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think it also matters price point. It also matters scale of work, all of the above. It is a very sometimes case by case basis when you start to talk about what needs to be done in order to get your house on the market. But there's definitely a checklist. There is definitely it should be a system as far as understanding what it's going to look like and a plan. So your clients don't feel like they are the ones that are going to be taking all that on themselves, and they are the ones that, have to figure it all out. Right. You should definitely be able to hopefully be that asset for them, and then show them the value. Like you said, what does it really mean putting in this work and doing these things to get it ready for spring market? And if I do, what does it really give me?
Exactly. So, I'll start the conversation here by let's talk about staging. Staging is a big one. If I bring that up with a seller, the first thing they're going to think of is money. It costs a bit to stage, right? So is it actually worth it? Well, if you're a seller and you're wondering whether to spend a little cash to make your home look like something out of HGTV, listen up. According to the Real Estate Staging Association, sellers who invest just 1% of their home's price on staging see a 5 to 15% return over asking price. That's right. Spend a little, gain a lot. And then we have NAR, National Association of Realtors. They back this up too. 22% of agents said staging boosted offers by 1 to 5%, and 17% saw a jump of 6 to 10%. So if your home's looking a little meh, staging could be the secret weapon to getting top dollar and selling fast. So yeah, that velvet throw pillow and strategically placed coffee table book, they might just pay for themselves and then some.
Yes.
Staged homes also spend 73% less time on market than non-staged homes. And 81% of buyers agents said staging a home made it easier for buyers to visualize the property as a future home, potentially leading to quicker sales.
I think that's the key point, right? I say that all the time. Buyers are visual in this market, in this, web-based market, right? They're looking online, they're looking at pictures, they are making their decision on your property almost a lot of the times before they're even getting into it, right? So if the visual of what you're putting out there isn't making them feel like this is their purchase, this is their home, then it has to deliver that way, right from the time it's on their screen until the time they walk through the door. It's so important. That first impact, those pillows, that artwork, that, the right colors, all of that matters, and making that emotional connection, which which it, changes into cash. It just does.
Yeah. Yeah, it absolutely does. And there's different levels to staging. Like right now, I have a listing, it's coming up in Roxborough. And these clients, they're so amazing. They're just really, they're the good people. They're the kind of people you want to hang out with all the time. And I wish I could have, 100 of those kind of clients this year. And I walked in, I was like, okay, you guys, we're not waiting till you move out to sell your house. You have a great stuff. You have great furniture. You've got great taste.
Yeah.
So let's, declutter, minimize, because you've got two kids. And if you've got two kids, you've got a lot of stuff around. So we're going to look like you don't have two kids and you barely live here. But, just minimizing all their stuff. It doesn't cost anything except for time on their end. So time is a great investment to get your house ready. And then of course there's other ways too. The next way would be, let's bring in some items. And I think most of us agents, we have some items that we can bring into our listings to kind of make an impact. Jill, I know you've got a whole storage unit of this.
Yeah. So that's, and I think too, a thing that owners and agents, or anyone that's going into this, people need a plan. They need a step-by-step action plan. I have found when I started to really implement, time frames, people and help in each process, each stage of the process, whether it's, organizing the declutter, whether it's donating the clutter, whether it's getting the clutter to storage units, whether it's now bringing pieces in and what pieces stay, what pieces go. How do I keep track of all of that? It's, you're putting tape on things that stay, tape on things that go. Having a very precise plan to walk people through it so they don't feel overwhelmed is huge, because a lot of my clients are actually downsizers, or maybe leaving the area. And for them, downsizers or upsizers, and they feel like this is just too overwhelming. So they never get going, right? You almost stop yourself from moving forward because it feels too overwhelming of where to even start. So putting a very clear plan together, and making sure that your agent helps you execute that plan is everything. Is truly
Yeah, it truly is. Because there is, when you're getting your house ready to sell, there is that whole like anxiety that a seller feels while they're getting ready, and they're like, I don't know if I can make this deadline. I'm like, you're the one who wants to sell in the spring market and try to get top dollar in April. Like,
Yep.
now's the time. It's now or never.
Yep.
We're gonna wait, and every market has a different positive piece to it. So we'll see if that other market's going to be good for them.
Yep.
Now, staging, what do you think for cost if someone was going to use a professional stager in the greater Philadelphia area? What are they expected to pay?
Well, and again, I think that's a loaded question, because it's all based on the size of the house. It's all based on how many rooms you want to do. It's all based on what other things function in the house. So again, it really has to be somebody that's able to walk through and say, all right, well, and if you need to empty your house before you move out, then we're looking at a completely empty house. Maybe we're only staging a first floor. And if the first floor only is, let's just say, 900 square feet, or it's a living room, a dining room, and a kitchen area, right? Something like that, where we can get away without maybe staging every piece of the first floor. And again, it really depends on the size of the home. It depends on the way the home flows, all those things. But I think an average staging install could be anywhere from 3,500 to 6,500, depending on how much you're putting in. That's where I'm seeing my pricing right now with my stager. And that usually gets us to a place of where the house feels, staged enough to give somebody a feeling of this could be my home when they walk in, but still leaving some rooms that we don't have to stage the entire home, because they can tell this is a bedroom. Oh, okay, I can tell that this is that, but it's important to stage bathrooms. Nobody wants to walk into a bathroom and see every crack, every place that needs caulk. Like, you've got to put the shower curtain back up, put some rugs down, put some make it feel, lived in, right? Make it feel like how it's going to feel for that buyer.
Those are some really great tips. Now, sometimes we're dealing with a client who maybe they overextended themselves on the equity in the home. Maybe they've got a HELOC, they've got liens, they've got judgments against the property, and there's not enough equity in this house for when they're closing to really have the budget for that. So something that we can do pretty easily is we can virtually stage and it's a fraction of the price, but does it yield results? What do you think?
So that's an interesting. So I have found it's hard to really get. Now, the visual online is great for that potential buyer, but then they walk in the door and the disconnect is immediate. It's immediate. So if you're going to do virtual photos or your agent is recommending virtual photos, it is imperative that those virtual photos are on display in the rooms
Yes.
where they were taken. There's nothing worse than being online and seeing these photos, and they're good. I mean, sometimes it's hard to tell. I mean, an agent or a trained eye can tell, but somebody that's not a trained eye might think, "Oh, that looks awesome. That's so cute." And it's like, are those virtual estate? Are they? So if I'm walking into a house now and I see a completely empty house, I'm wondering where I saw that furniture. Maybe I'm pulling up my phone and trying to figure it out. But why are you doing that? Get it blown up. Make sure there's big renderings sitting in those rooms so that the buyer can visually see what they saw online. That's my biggest thing with the virtual. I like a virtual. I've used virtual in in my larger listings. I think there is a place for virtual sometimes, like you said, even in those financial distress situations. But at the same time, you definitely want to make sure you're following through with that concept and idea.
Yeah, I agree. I think that is something that is missed. And even if they, it's last minute listing something, you don't have time to go to the local print shop and get this done, print it out at home, put it up nicely. It doesn't like take out the family photo, pop it in your family photo, put it out in the house. It makes a huge difference.
I've even invested in small easels, Dollar Tree, and you just put it on a frame on an easel so they can see it in the rooms. I mean, you can get creative here with what your costs are if you're really worried about that extra cost of all those things. But at the same time, it is worth it. It is truly worth it if you're going to start with a virtual staging look to make sure it's cohesive once a buyer.
And there's another situation that could really benefit from virtual staging, and that's the house is, how do we say this nicely? It's trash. It's we've all seen them. It needs so much work. It's got 3 layers of wallpaper all peeling at different ways. And this is more of like maybe a handyman special. You'll see those in listings. It's that kind of layer. Virtual staging, you can create a room and create a look so that someone has the vision. Because I think that a lot of people who even have the skills to fix up a place, sometimes they have the skills, they don't have the vision. And it provides that extra layer of connection with the property. Absolutely. So and another great way to use it.
Sides. I mean, it's a great asset as a listing agent to provide your seller, but it's also, there's many out there that don't do it. So if you have a buyer and that buyer maybe is in a situation where they can't get out of their way because they can't envision what they can make grandma's house look like, or they can't envision what they can do to a house that maybe needs some work, that's a perfect opportunity to let's get on a call, let's jump on something and have a consult, and I can show you what you're really going to be able to do with this house. I'm not asking anyone to be a general contractor, not asking anyone to be a designer, but it is just some basic concepts that you can, as you're, a professional realtor, you should be able to provide that as a service.
I agree. And so there's a new statistic saying that staged homes, including those virtually staged, have been reported to sell for 5 to 17% more than unstaged homes. So in comparison to an empty house, it definitely helps. So if you have that empty listing, virtually staging is a great option. Yeah. And if you're a seller of an empty house, talk to your agent about doing the virtually staging, because before, like even 2 years ago, it looked so bad. Like the renderings looked really trashy. Good. But now they have great options for it.
It really does. Now it's some you're like, I can't even tell the difference.
Yeah, you're like, wait, let me look at the seams here. Yeah, but yeah, definitely, I'm pro virtual staging in the right circumstance. So now the next item: should sellers do a pre-listing home inspection? All right,
I have pretty heavy feelings about that, but
okay.
I know they're mixed across the board. There's many.
Yes, they are. I think we could have a room of 100 agents and it's going to split the room. Yeah, so it's definitely going to split the room. But I'm going to start us off with some stats. I love my facts, or at least some studies. All right. So let's talk about a pre-listing home inspection. Is it worth it? Or is it just another thing draining your wallet before you even put the for sale sign in the yard? Spoiler alert, it's worth it. So I'm going to hit you with the stats. According to Home Probe, Homes that get a pre-listing inspection sell 4 times more successfully than those that don't. Not only that, but they sell for 2% more of the original list price and they spend 40% fewer days on the market. That's right, less stress, more money, and a faster sale. And if that's not convincing enough, Internachi, which is the big dogs of home inspections, they also found that homes with pre-listing inspection sell faster than those without. So while your neighbor is scrambling to fix last-minute surprises after the buyer's inspection, you could be sipping a victory cocktail at the closing table. Bottom line, a pre-listing inspection isn't just about avoiding nasty surprises. It's about taking control of the sale, selling faster, and pocketing more cash. And honestly, who doesn't want that? Now, I'm going to break this down because I don't like fake statistics. And I'm not going to say those are fake. I'm going to say that those are leading, because if I was going to tell my seller that they should do a pre-listing home inspection, it's because I think we're going to get multiple offers. I don't want them to have, maybe they're concerned about liability. I don't want them to take on certain liability of maybe they forgot to disclose something, whatever it is. I don't want them to be sued over the next 2 years. So pre-listing home inspection does cover some liability in those cases, and it can also promote better offers. So now we already have we have an inspection. We're going to see less contingencies, which is likely. So if that house is already going to sell fast, I would be on board with doing a pre-listing inspection. All right, Jill.
I don't necessarily agree with it. I think it's, again, a case by case basis. I really, truly do. And the client and based on a client. But if I'm walking into a home that I could tell is well cared for, these people have loved their home, they've lived in their home, the maintenance on the home is good. Why am I going to ask them to go and spend $1,000 on something where we don't even know what we're going to get? I almost feel it's a little bit of putting the cart before the horse. I know it's, again, I'm nipping something in the bud. I'm trying to do preemptive things, but preemptive things can also turn into a rabbit hole of money that you don't even know you need to spend. Mm-hmm. So my thought on it a little bit from the seller's position and advocating for a seller, and when certain homes, again, are different stories. Some homes, they might need that because it's like a buyer's going to come in here and they're going to have questions. They're going to see things that are obvious, right? With, it's block concrete, it's porous, it looks damp. There's maybe 2 or 3 sump pits. There's a French drain. So there's going to be times where, yes, it makes sense to have a report here that explains that the systems in place are working the way they're meant to be. The grading was corrected, that there isn't no more water. So everything is a case by case basis. But at the same time, if a home is in a condition that has been well cared for, a baby boomer has been in there for 30 years and it's in great shape, why am I going to say to them, now go spend $1,000? Everything we find we should probably fix, or we should, we're going to have to disclose and talk about every single thing to somebody. Yeah. And what are these little things? Maybe it was just some dampness up in a crawl space or up in a thing that it was able to get wiped down. Well, now another buyer might say, well, I'm worried about that. Was it mold? Well, it was a form of mold, but it was able to be wiped down. Well, no, how do you know that? It just, I feel, can open up a lot of
the can of worms.
The can of worms. It's,
yes.
Again, if a buyer is truly concerned about buying a home and they do not want to give up their right to a home inspection, that's okay. That's 1,000% okay, as they should feel that way. But then let them do their due diligence and determine what their issues are. Yeah. Why is a seller going to already determine what the issues are for a buyer that they don't even know they have yet?
Exactly.
And what the buyer's concerns are.
Exactly. And the buyer might be skilled at something to fix it. Like, they may not care about the electric issues. They're like, I'm an electrician. My brother's an electrician.
Correct.
We hear that all the time. They're like, I don't care about that. And you're like, okay, but are you sure?
I grew up in block concrete homes, so I know what that, why it's porous and why you see those calcilations, like all the crystallizations and everything.
Yes.
So that doesn't bother me. But like somebody else, they might feel like, oh my gosh, that's a huge water issue. And
especially people who've never lived in Greater Philadelphia. And I'm like, I call it a Pennsylvania basement. We get a little wet. We get a little wet down there.
Do you have a work with it? So the pre-inspections,
I'm hit or miss on it too.
Yeah.
Now the next one I think we're going to agree a little bit more on, and that's going to be to do a deep clean before. 100%. Do a deep clean. Clean it. Like if you don't have the money for a deep clean, just do it clean. Get a cleaner in there, or if you're a good cleaner, do it.
And again, I
Yeah.
go back to this. If you have agents that, are advocate working for you and working on your behalf, if you don't have a cleaner, they should have somebody that can do it for you at a very reasonable price.
Yes.
So, these things should be done. If you had animals in your home, you should get your vents clean. You should definitely do these things because allergies are a real thing. And people come in and they, right away, if they, knew that maybe you had 2 dogs or a cat or something in your home, they can maybe smell that right away. They can.
Yeah. And don't cover up smells. I cannot tell you, I am so sensitive to those Febreze things, those like all those air clean, like smelling things.
Yeah.
The cheap candles. Guys, stop. You're
Yeah.
giving me headaches. Just stop. And I can smell the cat piss under it. It's not working.
And it's like you walk in and your buyers are like, what are they covering up? I mean,
exactly. That's the first thing.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. But cleaning, it creates that because grime can be seen and felt by buyers. So it's so important to just have someone walk in and be like, this is a fresh start. This is my new beginning. I love this house.
Yeah.
So
great endlessly.
Invest in cleaning. If you're a bad cleaner, you know who you are.
Yeah.
I'm looking at you, the other side of the population, the men. I don't know.
You don't even see it. It's like,
I've dated enough guys to know they don't know how to clean.
I'm married to one.
You're married to one. Okay, Jill, let's have a little fun. All right. Fact or crap? Let's do a St. Patrick's Day version of this because we've got St. Pat's coming up. And one of the things I'm looking forward to for St. Patrick's Day is the first annual. I love anything that says first annual. It's like, yes, you're going to keep it going. You don't know how this one's going, but you're going to keep doing it. Glenside is doing a first annual parade and festival. So I'm really excited to go to that this coming weekend. So maybe I'll see you there. Check it out.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I'll be in Seattle. Girls weekend.
Well then. All right. Fact or crap, Jill? Philadelphia's first St. Patrick's Day parade was in 1771, make it one of the oldest in the country.
1771. I feel like that's too old. I feel
it's too old.
Maybe crap.
It's fact. It's even older than the United States itself. We're so rooted in our Irish heritage here.
It feels like it's way too old.
I know.
All right, maybe I should have it back because it's so old. It make that up.
All right. A South Philly pub once dyed all their beer green for St. Patrick's Day, but accidentally turned customers' teeth green too.
Oh, I can see that happening in South Philly for sure.
I like how you're like, yeah, in South Philly.
Their teeth green.
You think true?
That feels like it'd be hard to turn their teeth green. But how much? I mean, they were drinking a lot. There was a lot of drinking. I'm going to say true.
It's fake, but it definitely sounds like something that could happen, right? It's fun making that one up for you.
I'm not doing good today. I usually take.
Come on, you're going to get this one. You're going to get this one.
All right.
A Philadelphia mayor once declared St. Patrick's Day an official city holiday.
That I feel like should be totally true.
No, it's crap. It's crap. But it's definitely celebrated like one here. Like,
that's why
everyone's Irish on St. Patrick's Day in Philadelphia.
I mean, did you see what happened during the parade? There was 3 million people in I mean, if we Eagles could do that, why couldn't St. Patty's do that?
Yeah, true. All right. During Prohibition, Philly's Irish pubs used bookstores as a front to secretly serve alcohol.
That seems true.
It's real. Yes. Yes. It's fact.
All right.
Speakeasies often operated this way. And I love that. I love bookstores. I love a little alcohol.
Me too.
Fantastic.
Now it's like you can drink and read at the same. When I was in
my favorite hobby.
When I was in Mexico at the what was the name of that all inclusive? Oh, the Grand Moon Palace. Mm-hmm. They had a speakeasy that we found like our last day in a library on the basement floor, like in a back wall. Because I kept seeing these things advertised about this bar. And I'm like, where is this bar? And you got to go through a library into the back wall.
Oh, I love that. I love that. Yeah. I love going to Gypsy Blue in Ambler when someone has like a special event upstairs because you go through the bookcase. Yeah. You've never done it?
No, I actually was there when he was building it. He showed us. I saw it with an agent way back when he was building it. And it was super cool. Super cool.
Love that.
Yeah.
All right. Last one. At one point in history, Philadelphia had more Irish pubs than churches.
I feel like that would be true too, but they do go hand in hand, right? Like you go drink and then go to church, or you go to church and then you drink. So I want to say more churches than, oh, no, more pubs than churches.
Yeah, more pubs, more Irish pubs than churches.
I'm going to say church.
At one point, it's a fact.
Yeah.
The Irish influence on Philly's pop culture has been strong for centuries. But yeah,
All right, I ended it good then. I got
yeah, you did great. All right, Jill, what is your favorite brewery or bar in the greater Philly area?
my favorite brewery or bar. Well, you know what? I got to give shout outs to because they're pretty amazing. The Conshohocken Brewing Company, but we go to the one in King of Prussia.
Mhm.
I've hosted several events there. The people there, the staff there, the beers are awesome. Not a huge beer drinker, but their IPAs are great. So definitely for me there.
Yes, I love that. And then is there like a local business you'd like to give a shout out to?
Oh, I love this. Well, I think I have to always give a shout out. Not always, but I probably don't give them a shout out enough. Newbridge Wealth Management, which is actually my other half's business, which they been now in business 10 years. They just recently acquired their second firm, a firm up in Allentown, and managed retiring. And they are run by Chris Wiegand and my husband, Vincent Barbera. So if you're out there and you need any wealth management advice, if you are worried about where to put your money and how to make sure that, getting through this political environment right now, and you want to make sure you're financially secure in doing that, give Vince a shout.
Absolutely. And he's so phenomenal. He's great to work with. I'm going to do a shout out as well. I'm going to shout out to one of my favorite businesses I went to last week, which is Lily's Indian Restaurant in Jenkintown. I don't know if you've been, if you like Indian food, it is phenomenal. They've got great naan bread, samosas, just wonderful flavors. And I asked for the white girl flavor because my body doesn't handle spice. It's really sad. Like, I know I have to build up for it, but I'm like, acid reflux is not a fan. So they give me they do very low for me and they laugh at me, which is fun. I mean, I laugh with them. They have a great staff. They're so kind. And I love the paneer korma. If you're a vegetarian, go and try that. And the owners, Gigi and Rosie, they're just absolutely great people. So go support local business and eat something good at the same time.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be spicy. See, they can make it non-spicy if you're non-spicy.
Exactly. All right. So final thoughts on listing prep. What's the number one thing every seller should do before going on market?
I mean, honestly, they need a full consult. They should have a full consultation, a full walkthrough of the full home, and they should have a plan in place, a full house plan that outlines exactly what the expectations are. You should not just, all right, I'm just throwing it up, or my cousin does this and he comes in and takes pictures and now it's on the market. And don't do yourself that disservice. Make sure you have a full plan outlining exactly how to highlight your home and get maximum value.
Yes. And, that's between prepping it and working with an agent who does a full marketing plan. And because if someone does think I just put it in the MLS and it sells, that is not the magic behind real estate. Some people get lucky, but if you got lucky that way, you probably left money on the table at the end of the day by not working with an educated agent on how to get it ready.
Just a note on that. So many people, and I know this is a whole other topic, but I'll say it quickly, are so commission sensitive. Stop being so commission sensitive, because what you're doing is by limiting your mindset to only being commission sensitive, you're leaving money on the table for agents that have the ability to gross you $50, $60, $70, $80,000 more than where you would be just by trying to save yourself $5,000. So stop being so commission sensitive, and plus to understand the new rules related to the commissions. Make sure your agents are explaining that thoroughly, because it's very important.
And if you're an agent and you're listening to this, join Jill and I. We have a great group, and I think we have some upcoming events. We've got karaoke for agents. We've got a Monday mastermind. Pretty much every Monday you can join.
Yeah, and the spring kickoff event, we'll be inviting everybody out for that.
Yeah, we have a regional rally. We've got brunch with brokers coming up because our brokers care and they're present. So that's always good. If you're somewhere where you're not getting support, reach out to Jill or myself. We're happy to have you come along for the ride.
Yeah.
All right. So thank you guys for listening. Jill, thank you so much for being on today. I love discussing things with you. I love hanging out with you in person too. You're a great agent and you're a great human being, which I can't say about everyone.
I know.
Yeah.
Enjoy this. This has been fun. I can't wait to see where this goes. I know it's going to be a lot of fun as we grow this, and I get the honor of getting on and shooting the shit with you. It's so much fun.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you guys are listening, just shout out your favorite local business in the comments, provide recommendations. I love to check out new places, and so does Jill. So give us a shout. Awesome. Thank you.
Thanks.